I would like to end by telling you the words that started the ministry of Jesus the Christ. They are found in John 2. I know you are familiar with the story. Jesus and His disciples were called to a wedding. His mother was at the wedding. If you look at this story, Jesus is somewhat tentative, somewhat hesitant, maybe even a little bit trepidatious. You can see Him not really wanting to do what is asked of Him. But they run out of wine. Which at any wedding, after a wedding, they will have some kind of eats or feast. And if it was modern day, it would be synonymous with maybe they had a wedding that was catered and something happened and the food was not delivered. And it's an embarrassment. And so they ran out of wine, and it was an embarrassment to the family. And Jesus' mother, Mary, this is such an interesting story. Read it sometime and try to read between the lines. Now, I'm going to give you the Chapman interpretation. You might have a little bit of interpretation, but this is the way I read between the lines. Jesus' mother pulls Jesus apart, and she basically says, you could do something about this. This is embarrassing. You know these people, and I know these people, and this is an embarrassing situation, and you could do something about it. And Jesus is kind of put on the spot. Jesus is kind of, in fact, if you look at what He says to her, He says, this is not my hour. He says, what do I have to do with this? And he calls His mom a woman. He doesn't even address her as mother. He says, woman, this is not my time. And you know how mothers are. She might have said something like this. Well, when is your time? You're 30 years old. You're still living at home. You're single. I mean, when is your time? Maybe this is your time. Have you ever thought about that? Maybe this is your time. And you know how mothers are, and Jesus is a little put back, and he's been put on the spot, and it seems like from the context that he doesn't want to be put on the spot because he said, my hour's not yet come, and she's just kind of frustrated. And the conversation's over. And yet we hear the words that launch the ministry of Jesus the Christ. They are not spoken by Jesus. They are not even spoken to Jesus. They are spoken by His mother to the servants. Can't you just see her? She's talking to Him, and He says, what am I supposed to do about it? She says, you can do something about it. I know who you are. I mean, I really know who you are. You can do something about this. And then you know how mothers are. I bet she turned on her heel. You know how they can do it. Just flipped her hair back or whatever. And starts walking away. So she has her back to Jesus, and there's the servants. I don't know how many there were. It says plural. And she says this, in passing probably. She looks at them and she says, whatever He says unto you, do it. Whatever He says unto you, do it. I would like to end by telling you this. If you have been given a vision of God about what He wants you to do with your life, if you know that you are tuned in to the voice of God and you are listening to Him, I tell you this, whatever He says unto you, do it. Do it.